So hello friends, now we'll focus on the suprahyoid musculature. The mnemonics for suprahyoid musculature is MDS. Supra means masters, that's a MDS. So M stands for mylohyoid muscle. So this mylohyoid muscle origins from the body of the mandible. Okay, you can see here, and it is inserted in the midline raphe of the hyoid bone. So what is the function of your mylohyoid muscle? It is associated with the floor of the mouth. So it will have some function on the floor of the mouth. So what it does, it elevates the floor of the mouth and tongue. And this mylohyoid muscle is supplied by the mylohyoid branch of inferior alveolar nerve. Okay friends, so this is a mylohyoid. Now D stands for the digastric muscle. As you know, the digastric muscle has two parts, that is the anterior belly and one more is the posterior belly. So this anterior belly is this one. Okay, it arises from the digastric fossa of the mandible and it is inserted in this intermediate tendon. In the same way, this posterior belly arises from the mastoid process of your temporal bone and it is also inserted in this intermediate tendon. Now remember my friends, people get confused between कि anterior belly का nerve supply क्या है, posterior belly का nerve supply क्या है. Remember दोनों का nerve supply different है. Now आप देख सकते हैं कि anterior belly mylohyoid muscle के पास में है, तो उसका nerve supply भी mylohyoid nerve ही करता है. And this posterior belly का supply facial nerve करता है. Okay friend. Then one more is stylohyoid muscle. It arises from the styloid process and inserted into the hyoid bone. Okay, and simple, this stylohyoid muscle is near to the posterior belly of your digastric. So posterior belly of digastric is supplied by facial nerve. So stylohyoid is also supplied by the facial nerve. So simple. Now you can correlate all the four muscles of your suprahyoid musculature. So we have talk about the actions also. That what is the action of anterior belly of digastric? This anterior belly of digastric will retract your chin, okay, and help in the opening of mouth. And this posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid will elevate and retract your hyoid bone. Okay friends, so these are the actions of suprahyoid musculature. Now we'll talk about the infrahyoid musculature. So in infrahyoid musculature, first we'll talk about the sternohyoid muscle. Okay, these infrahyoid muscles are located below your hyoid bone. Okay my dear friends, so their fibers will run from down to up. Okay, where we see in the suprahyoid, it runs from the up to down. So we'll talk about sternohyoid. It arises from the sternum. This is a sternum, this is a clavicle, and from there it get inserted into your hyoid bone. Okay my dear friends, so as you know, the sternohyoid is located below your hyoid bone. So what it function? It lowers your hyoid bone. Okay, and the sternohyoid is supplied by the ansa cervicalis C1 and C2. This ansa cervicalis is a group of nerves that form the part of cervical plexus. So that is sternohyoid. Then second we will see the omohyoid muscle. They have two belly, that is superior belly and the inferior belly. It arises from the scapular notch and get inserted into the hyoid bone. It also lowers your hyoid bone. It is supplied by the ansa cervicalis C2 and C3. The sternohyoid was C1 and C2 and omohyoid is C2 and C3. The third muscle we will see is sternothyroid muscle. It arises from the sternum and get inserted into the thyroid cartilage. Now my dear friends, I told you okay, near thyroid cartilage there is a location of larynx. So this sternothyroid muscle lowers the larynx and it is also supplied by the C2 and C3. The other two infrahyoid muscles which is not possible to show in the figures are the geniohyoid and thyrohyoid. The geniohyoid arises from the anterior mandible and get inserted into the hyoid bone. Its functions is it protracts the hyoid bone. It is also supplied by ansa cervicalis C1 and C2. One more muscle, that is a thyrohyoid. The name only suggests that it arises from the thyroid cartilage and get inserted into the hyoid bone. This muscle raises the larynx and it is also supplied by ansa cervicalis C1 and C2. So friends, that was all about the muscles of the anterior triangle.